All right, good morning, everyone. We are with George Fassett this morning, and he's running for City Council. So we're just going to ask a couple of questions and get to know him. And I'm going to start off with, how would you describe yourself?
How would I describe myself? Well, I'm, I'm an entrepreneur at heart, so I tend to um, find opportunity in in ventures. So I like to be a part of that. I'm a businessman. At the end of the day, I've worked for the last 25 years in owning companies and helping other entrepreneurs build their companies up. So I really like business a lot, and I'm a family man. I've got a 14-year-old and a 12-year-old, and right now they are the center of everything going on. So there's always something going on with the kids, and that's a great thing. And
Yeah, a house of teenagers.
well, it's all coming together now, so
Yeah.
it's interesting. It's very interesting. So a lot of reflection back from when I was younger. So, um, I'm 46. I'll be 47 in September. So a lot of our focus is on that kind of that next step, right? So
Yeah.
we've got colleges coming up for the kids, and we've got you know never know when, but you got to be saving now for the weddings and things
Oh,
such
yeah.
like that. So it's a lot of what we're doing right now is very family oriented. And I ran a managed IT services company here in DFW for about 22, 23 years. And so since I've sold that and now just working as a business consultant, it's allowed me to center myself around a lot with the kids and the family, which has been good during this time. So
So what's been the biggest eye opener for you with teenagers?
um, technology, it's different from when we were teenagers. Like we played, Atari, Nintendo, things like that, the first generation of those things. But if you're going to play with someone, they had to sit next to you.
Mm.
And now they can play with you all across the world. And I have to spend a lot of time trying to get the kids to do stuff with actual humans that are present. So, so versus all the virtual, and but at the same time, it also allows for a different level of creativity. Like my daughter is very into content creation and making videos and making animations and things like this. My son's pretty sports, but with COVID, it's been tough with the sports stuff. So just
Yeah.
kicking him out of the house and making him go ride his bike around the neighborhood is a big deal. So
Yeah. Well, as a business consultant, what's been the common denominator of things that you've seen within the past year?
for most of the clients that I've been working with, it has been sustaining a level of business. So, um, and one of my clients is in a different part of the country that is locked down much more than Texas. So they have been struggling with with bringing on new clients, because even your conventional means of outreach like direct mail, nobody's at the office to receive the mail. And when they do come to the office, they're in such a rush to get to the important things. They have to deal with client work. They're not looking at anything for marketing or for sales. So but it's also been a learning process, an adapting process of learning how to have more online, more virtual. We are doing a Zoom right
Right.
now. 2 years ago, this would not have been normal,
Mm-mm.
right? So we've made this new normal of when we walk around and say, well, we'll Zoom. If I had said that 2 years ago, you would have been, what's that? So there's a lot of that is occurring because of COVID. And the whole work at home dynamic, it's kind of this weird balance, especially for upper management, because in the past they were responsible, so responsible for delivering things, and now they are almost kind of being micromanaged. So, and a lot of folks don't like that. So it's tough for people. At first, it was kind of quaint and novel. You know, I'm at home, I've got my pajama bottoms on, but my shirt, my professional shirt on, and all that. But it became meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting to keep everyone accountable and make sure that they were working and not watching Netflix. But your higher end professionals and your managers and your supervisors and folks that they really were hired on a salary basis to deliver
A result.
a result.
Mhm.
And it wasn't about making sure that you were on your Teams or on your Zoom at 8 a.m. It was in that you were getting off at 5 and having back-to-back meetings. So we're finding a lot of businesses having to come back and reevaluate how exactly that they're measuring accountability. And it doesn't necessarily mean the green light is on next to your name from 9 to 5. The question is whether or not you're delivering what you're supposed to all day long. So
It's like that transition from that old time clock.
that's right. And it's
Yeah.
kind of like it went back to it because everyone was worried that people are going to just
Yeah.
be sitting home watching TV or whatever and not caring about work as much. And so they were putting these safeguards in place, but now it's created some discontent with the employees now that it's been, a year. That being said, of course, here in Texas, a lot of us are all going back into the office. We're all kind of going back to work. But like I said, one of my clients is in another part of the country that is just barely open. So they're at like 25% and just now opened up indoor dining. So
Yeah.
and we've been indoor dining since what, May? So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huge difference.
Huge difference, right? And it creates different challenges in different parts.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to ask you kind of a fun question. Do you do any binge watching on any kind of series or anything like that? And I want to know what your favorite one is.
Oh, well, I have a lot of them right now. We just finished the WandaVision, so I'm a big nerd. So I like Marvel and superheroes, and so we did just finish the WandaVision. We thought that was really good, and Falcon and Winter Soldier starts on Friday, so we're excited about it kicking off. And then tomorrow night, Zack Snyder's recut of Justice League comes out on HBO Max. So there's a lot of superhero that goes on in our house. And I've always been a big superhero fan, and certainly I'm a big Batman fan. So I love Batman. So we do that. We've been watching all the Snowpiercers on TNT. We watched the original movie with Chris Evans, who is actually Captain America also, and so we watched Snowpiercer, and then and so that's been really a good series as well. And probably one of my favorite series is Ozark. I really like it a lot, but
I love that show.
I certainly am ready to consume some more. Like they can release me another season.
Yeah.
So that show's been really good. So there's so much content that's coming, on the streaming services. I really don't like the ones that drop one time a week. I really like the ones that just the whole thing drops and you can watch it all at once. Disney Plus is doing the one time a week, so that makes it tougher. Snowpiercer is on TNT, so it's one time a week. But the first season is on HBO Max, so we were able to binge that out. So
okay, so I'm going to ask you, what is the attraction to the whole superhero thing?
I don't know. I've just always been
It's just
a
been
nerd.
that way.
I've collected comic books. I've graphic novels. I love to read. I love sci-fi and fantasy too. So, I was a big Asimov fan when I was all through my young teenage years.
Mhm.
So I read all the Foundation books. Of course, they're about to release Foundation on Apple Plus for the whole TV series on Foundation. So Asimov was a big part of my literary. I was very, very Asimov. So a lot of things really, come from the original comics, that come from the original sci-fi and fantasy worlds that were written. So I've always just enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And I've always been a nerd, so it's you know,
It's
so
just part of it, huh?
absolutely, it's just part of being.
It's part of the requirement.
That's right. Well, and when Keaton's Batman came out, that was the first dark Batman to hit the
Mhm.
screen, and that was right when I was a right dead center teenager. So that really, that really captured a lot of people, not just myself, but it was a big change from Adam West's kind of,
Yeah.
you know, a TV series pajama suit type
See, I
Batman.
I remember that. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So, and I watched that one when I was younger, but to see it come to the big screen was
Mhm.
really in that type of format, the darker Dark Knight type look. It was really cool. So, I've I've always been a big Batman fan.
Okay. Now we know.
Yeah,
All
there you
right.
go.
I want to ask you, why are you running for city council?
Well, as you know, I ran for mayor,
Right.
and that was a very long and you know, who, running for my first political office during COVID was quite interesting and long. And then it also moved itself into a presidential election, which made our electorate
Mhm.
much larger. Um, and so I felt like I had some momentum coming out of running for mayor, and that
Mhm.
I can still bring my voice and my mind and my experience, my education, and my leadership to our city hall. And I have a desire to serve. I really want to serve and help. And I think I have a very unique set of skills because I have a lot of technology, I have a lot of education, I have a lot of experience in the business world, and I think I can really bring. I really feel like I can bring a lot of that to the city to help and to participate in some of the critical decisions we're making right now as we continue to grow and change in our city. And our city is significantly changing. Every day it is transforming. We are seeing more and more um, development. We're seeing more and more building. We're seeing more and more holes in the roads too. So, there's a lot of challenges in the city. And I do think it's good to have some change at City Hall and bring in some folks that are going to look at things just a little bit differently and bring a different set of skills um, into our council that I might be able to uh, show us a different way to think about something.
Okay.
So I'm excited about it. I'm really I do want to help, and I still am going to no matter what. So, and I have been even in the break, making sure I'm meeting with Joe, making sure I'm meeting with folks downtown, and still trying to make an impact in our town and serve.
Okay. One last question before we finish up. Do you have a creed that you live by?
Um, yes, nobody's stopping you but you. So the only one that's really in your own way is yourself. And
Mhm.
and so I do live by that. If there's something you really want to do, then go do it. And so I do live by that. And as I told you the last year, I mean, I grew up a poor kid in upstate New York in a trailer park, and
Mhm.
and I went out and I did, and I continue to do every day to build a life that I didn't need to be defined in. So, but the only one that ever stops me, even to this moment, is me. So,
Yeah.
I've got to get my own self out of the way, my own doubts, my own challenges, and overcome them. And so I do have a creed, and I recommend it to everyone.
Mhm.
So the only one stopping you is you, no one else.
I think that's a good note to leave on. So I thank you for spending the time with us, and look forward to the candidate forums and the luncheon that we're going to do. And so we will see more of you.
Absolutely.
All
And
right.
Thank you so much for everything you and the chamber do. So
Thanks,
important.
George. I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am.
Bye-bye.